Welcome to the Principles of Steel Design, and for this video, we're going to discuss about the compression members. So let us identify our lesson objectives. At the end of this module, you should be able to first define what compression members are. Second, determine what Euler's critical buckling load is. Third, calculate for the effective slenderness ratio of compression members. Fourth, differentiate intermediate column from long column. And fifth, calculate the actual load capacity using the NSCP specifications. So, papasok na tayo ngayon doon sa mga NSCP specifications natin. So, compression members, the most common type of compression member occurring in buildings and bridges is the column. Okay, so pinag-uusapan na natin dito yung mga column ng ating structure. So this is a vertical member whose primary function is to support vertical loads. In many instances, these members are also called upon to resist bending. In these cases, the member is beam column. So compression members are also used in trusses and as components of bracing systems. Smaller compression members, now classified as columns, are sometimes referred to as struts. So yung mga maliliit or yung mga maiiksi na compression members natin, these are not classified as columns. Okay, tinatawag na lang daw natin siya na struts. Okay, so gaya nga ng sabi dito, this is to support the vertical loads, di ba? Kasi kumbaga yung mga beams natin dyan, since yan po ay nakapahiga, ang mangyayari dyan is may mga load yan na vertical. So para maiwasan natin, especially the bending, okay? So especially yung bending natin, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng column, okay? Para masuportahan natin. Okay, kaya nga po 'di ba yung mga ano natin pagdating sa mga designing natin, tinitingnan natin gaano ba ka kalaki yung pinaka-space ng bawat ano natin, poste natin para maging matibay yung ating structure. So these are the types of the column. So ang nangyayari sa atin pagdating sa steel, okay? So ito yung column natin for the steel structures, yung mga vertical vertical natin. Okay? Vertical members. So for this one, okay, especially for our reinforced concrete, okay? So hindi naman lagi ang column natin is always steel bars lang ang meron. Possible din dyan, ang ginagamit natin are different types of sections. Like for example, the wide flange. Okay, wherein ang nangyayari dyan, your wide flange is inside. Okay? And then, this is a precast concrete column covers wherein ito yung pinaka, concrete natin. So, hindi solid yung nangyayari doon sa loob. So, meron lang tayong precast na ginagamit. And then we also have the concrete encased structural tube wherein tube naman yung ginagamit natin dito. So, tapos lalagyan lang natin sa sa labas ng concrete para yaan yung possible din na tumulong sa kanya. And sometimes as well is the concrete encased wide flange shape. So instead na tube yung ginagamit ay wide flange. And then sa lahat sa palibot ng wide flange natin, lahat na yan ay konkreto. So what about now the Euler's column buckling theory? So consider the long slender compression member shown. Ito siya. So ito yung column natin. Okay? If the actual load P is slowly applied, it will ultimately become large enough to cause the member to become unstable and assume the shape indicated by the dashed line. So kumbaga parang habang nagkakaroon tayo ng actual load, okay? Compression yung actual load natin. Kaya ang nangyayari sa kanya, instead na isang diretso pa rin siya, nagbe-bend. Okay? Ayan yung nangyayari sa kanya. Kaya nga po 'di ba, ang tinitignan din natin pagdating sa mga poste, especially for those 2-story or more, okay, tinitingnan natin yung load na kaya niya. Para ngayon ang mangyari sa kanya is that hindi siya maging slender. Okay? So the member is said to have buckled, and the corresponding load is called the critical buckling load. So, kaya natin kinukuha yun. Ano ba yung critical buckling load na, kumbaga, ano yung load na pinaka-critical para mangyari yung ganito in reality? Okay, yung kumbaga parang magbabuckle talaga siya. If the member is stockier, a larger load will be required to bring the member to the point of instability. So for extremely stocky members, failure may occur by compressive yielding rather than buckling. So syempre, ang nangyayari naman sa atin, habang lumiliit naman kasi yung isang material natin or yung isang member natin, at kahit ilagyan mo yan ng lagyan ng load, medyo mahirap siya pagdating doon sa ating pagbabakel. Okay? So, parang ano lang yan, halimbawa, yung ating mga marker. Yung marker mo, kapag yan, in-applyan mo ng load, okay, kumbaga parang ang gawin natin, from your right and left hand, pagsamahin mo sila, tapos i-push mo siya, okay, i-compress mo siya, hindi siya nagbabakel kasi maliit or maikli yung ano niya, yung haba niya. Pero pag halimbawang gamitin mo yung ruler na 12 inches, 'di ba? Pag yan ginawa natin na kinompress natin siya, nagbabakel siya. Okay? So kaya ngayon nagiging mas slender yung mas mahaba. So in Euler's column buckling theory, so prior to failure, the compressive stress P over A will be uniform over the cross-section at any point along the length, whether the failure is by yielding or by buckling. The load at which buckling occurs at the junction of slenderness, and for very slender members, this load can be quite small. So if the member is so slender that the stress just before buckling is below the proportional limit, that is the member is still elastic. The critical buckling load is given by this formula. So PCR, critical, is equal to pi squared EI over L squared, wherein yung E natin dito is the modulus of elasticity of the material. And since ang pinag-uusapan kasi natin, di ba, na material natin is steel, most of the time, our E is just equal to 200 gigapascal. So I is the moment of inertia of the cross-sectional area with respect to the principal axis. So if we're going to talk about x-axis, syempre IX ang gamit natin. Okay? So for the x-axis, and then IY naman pagdating sa y-axis. So L is the length of the member between points of support. So take note that the L is the length. Okay? So from support to support. So if the critical load is divided by the cross-sectional area, the critical buckling stress is obtained. So kanina force pa lang to. Okay? Paano naman daw kapag dinivide na natin siya kay area? So therefore, ang makukuha na natin dito na formula will be the stress is equal to pi squared E over L over R squared. Okay? So wherein, kasi di ba kanina pi squared EI over L squared. Eh ano ba yung ating area? Okay, kapag daw nag-divide tayo ng area dito, ganyan siya. So, nakakakuha tayo ng L over R na. Okay? So, this equation showed the buckling stress is not a function of material strength. Rather, it is a function of the ratio known as the slenderness ratio. Take note that L over R is what we call now the slenderness ratio. So as the slenderness ratio increases, the buckling stress decreases, meaning that the column becomes longer and more slender, the load caused buckling becomes smaller. So at this compressive stress, buckling will occur about the axis corresponding to R. Buckling will take place as soon as the load reaches the value given by P, and the column will become unstable about the principal axis corresponding to the largest slenderness ratio. This axis usually is the axis with the smaller moment of inertia. Thus, the minimum moment of inertia and radius of gyration of the cross-section should ordinarily be used. Okay? So, what about now the effective length? So, syempre, di ba, sabi ko sa inyo, nagde-design tayo. So, ano ba yung pinaka-effective naman na length? So, the Euler equations are based on the following assumptions. So, assumptions ha, take note. So, the column is perfectly straight with no initial crookedness. So, kumbaga parang dito, sa Euler natin, sa Euler equations na binigay sa atin, ina-assume daw niya na perfectly straight lang si column natin. Kumbaga parang wala siyang nagiging problem. The load is axial with no eccentricity. Again, when we say eccentricity, ibig sabihin hindi siya along the center. So, yung load daw natin is nandito lang din mismo along our um, neutral axis. So, the column is pinned at both ends. So, kumbaga, parang ang ano natin dito, pinned siya. Okay? So, meron tayong pin dito. Alright? Eh, di ba yung kapag pin kasi, pag pinalitan mo yan ng reaction niya, yan ay vertical load lang. So, the first two conditions mean that there is no bending moment in the member before buckling. So, as mentioned previously, some accidental moment will be present, but in most cases, it can be ignored. So, the requirement for pinned ends, however, is a serious limitation and provisions must be made for other support conditions. The pin end condition requires the member be restrained from lateral translation, but not rotation. So at the ends, constructing a frictionless pin connection is virtually impossible. So even the support condition can only be approximated at best. Obviously, the columns must be free to deform actually. So kumbaga parang sinasabi lang sa atin dito is that tinitingnan pa rin natin kasi may kinalaman po yung mga supports na meron tayo pagdating sa column natin para makuha natin si effective length. So, in this case, so si effective length kasi ay nagagamit natin pagdating dun sa slenderness ratio natin. Okay, so wherein we have the effective length factor and that is multiplying by the length natin. So, yung ating formula kanina from the critical buckling stress, which is pi squared E over L over R squared, magiging KL over R squared na siya. Okay, so again, so since we are talking about the effective length, magkakaroon din tayo ng effective slenderness ratio and that is the KL over R. Now, let us talk about the effective length factors. Okay, the value of K. Minsan binibigay si value ng K, but most of the time, hindi siya binibigay kasi sasabihin sa inyo kung ano yung supports na meron kayo. Okay? So, we have two types of K, of the effective length factors. We have the theoretical value and the recommended design value. If not stated in the problem, then you're going to use the theoretical since it from the word itself theoretical. Okay, but if the problem says that you're going to use the recommended design value of K, then ito naman yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So in this case, actually, ang madalas lang naman na ginagamit dito is 3. Tatlo lang. Okay? This one, and this one. Yan. Okay. So para dito, yung una natin is if the rotation fixed and translation fixed, meaning fixed yung inyong support. Okay? So, syempre, di ba, pag fixed kasi ang support natin, hindi yan nagro-rotate or hindi siya nagiging free sa rotation. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, so since fixed yan, yung magiging buckling ng ating member, hindi siya possible na mag-buckle dito kasi supported siya on the fixed support. So, therefore, the buckling is nandito lang sa bandang gitna. So, our value of K here will be 0.5 and the recommended design value of that is 0.65. Okay? Next, kapag naman daw yung isa natin is fixed but the other support or the other end is pin. Okay? If this is the case, sabi nga natin, di ba, since dito ay fixed, hindi yan gumagalaw or hindi siya free pagdating sa rotation, so nagkakaroon lang ng rotation pagdating sa pin member natin. So, kumbaga, ang nagiging buckle niya, halos 70% lang. Okay? So, that's why that is 0.7 for the value of K. And the recommended value is 0.85. Kasi, supposedly, kung titignan natin, it should be 3/4. Okay? Kumbaga parang yung kalahati nito, nag-buckle, and then yung kalahati ng kalahati, dito sa bandang baba ay nagbuckle. So that's why that is 3/4. But for the theoretical, instead of 0.75, we use 0.7. Pero 'di ba sabi nga natin, if we're going to round off, okay, 0.75 is rounded to the 0.8. And then last one, di ko na siguro papaliwanag itong natitirang tatlo. Yun na lang tatlo kasi ito yung madalas na ginagamit. So, what about now if pin-pin support naman tayo, walang fixed, okay? So, since both ends are free in rotation, okay? So, ibig sabihin, magbabakal talaga yan ng buo. So, that's why your value of K is 1. Okay? So, ang tatandaan na lang dito, this is the fixed. Okay? So, if you have a support of fixed, the K is 0.5, theoretically. But, if you have fixed pin, okay, regardless kung nasa taas si pin, nasa baba si fix, o kaya naman vice versa, so, still 0.7. But, if it is pin, okay, the value is 1.0. Now, let us talk about the types of the columns. First, we have the short column. The short column fail by crushing at very high stress level that are above the elastic limit of the column material. For very short columns, the failure stress will equal to the yield stress and no buckling will occur. So, di ba yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina, habang umiikli kasi or lumiliit yung pinaka-length ng ating column, hindi siya nagbabuckle. So that's why, ang nangyayari na lang sa kanya, the failure stress is equal now to the yield stress kasi hindi siya nagbabuckle. What about the long columns? Long column fail by buckling at stress levels that are below the elastic limit of the column material. So, di ba yung long columns nga yung mas madalas na nagbabuckle. So the Euler formula predicts very well the strength of long columns, where the actual buckling stress remains below the proportional limit. So such columns will buckle elastically. So ito, yung long columns natin ay nag-fail siya by buckling, okay, at stress levels that are below the elastic limit. And aside from short and long column, we also have what we call the intermediate column. So parang sa size lang yan, 'di ba? Small, medium, large. So ito si intermediate, kumbaga parang siya yung nasa average. So for intermediate column, some of the fibers will reach the yield stress and some will not. So kumbaga parang 50-50 siya. The members will fail by both yielding and buckling and their behavior is said to be inelastic. Most columns fall in this range. So, syempre, for us as an engineer, ang ginagawa natin, dun tayo sa safe. Okay? So, either mag-buckle or hindi, pero yung pagbabuckle niya will not lead to the yield stress. Okay? Kumbaga parang hindi siya magiging elastic or hindi siya darating dun sa may point na magiging plastic na talaga yung ating column. Okay? So, dun kaya siya nangyayari na most of the columns fall on this range. So now, let us go on to the NSCP specification. So dito natin malalaman paano ba natin dine-design. Okay? So in designing the actual load capacity of the compression members using the ASD NSCP 2001. So we have I think this is 5 steps. Okay? So step 1, you determine the critical slenderness ratio of the compression member considering the both axes. Then you're going to choose the largest value. Okay, so ang mangyayari dito is that you're going to check the slenderness ratio of both axes. So therefore, you have your slenderness ratio across x-axis and as well as y-axis. Okay? So, to get that, that is just kx, lx over rx, and kl over r with respect to y. Wherein, si r natin is considered as, or kapag hindi binigay yung radius of gyration natin, we can solve that as I over a. And then, pag nakuha na natin si rx at si ry, kukuhanin na lang natin ngayon. Next step natin is to choose the largest value. Siyempre, hindi mo gagamitin pareho. Okay? Yung isa lang. So, next step naman is to obtain the compression index. And that compression index is denoted by CC. and that is equal to square root of 2 pi squared E over Fy. So, ito kasi yung pagbabasihan natin. Okay, you're going to compare your slenderness ratio to the compression index. So, on the step 3, yun nga, sabi ko nga sa inyo, you're going to compare your SR or the slenderness ratio to the compression index, whether maging intermediate siya or long column. Okay, so, if the governing SR or the critical slenderness ratio is less than or equal to CC, then that is considered as intermediate column. Okay? So, intermediate daw siya. But, if your SR is greater than your CC, then that is considered as column. Long column. If ang nangyari sa atin, nag-fall tayo kay long column, then this is now your formula for the stress. Okay, that is 12 pi squared E over 23 KL over R squared. Okay, so ito yung magiging formula niya. But if it falls under the intermediate columns, then ito yung magiging formula natin. FA, or the allowable stress, is equal to 1 over KL over R squared over 2 CC squared multiplied by the quantity of Fy over Fs, wherein si KL over R, okay? So, si KL over R, still nakuha na natin yan. That is your slenderness ratio. The CC is the compression index. Pero ang wala na lang tayo dito is the value of Fs. So, saan natin kinukuha si Fs? That is not a constant, okay? It is computed. So, the Fs here, the factor of safety, will be computed as 5 over 3 plus 3 slenderness ratio over 8 cc minus KL over R cube over 8 cc cube. So, dito, para hindi tayo masyadong mahirapan, dagdagan natin. Hindi naman sa dadagdagan, paiklin lang din kasi natin yung magiging formula natin. Kung papansinin natin, laging dinidivide si KL over R tsaka si CC. Okay? And kung papansinin din natin, pareho din naman kung ano yung nagiging exponent sa taas, yun din yung nagiging exponent sa ibaba. So what if ang gawin natin dyan is to use the value of Z, wherein si Z, let's say that is KL over R over CC. So kuhanin mo na agad yung ratio, yung slenderness ratio over the compression index. Tapos, ang gawin na lang natin, store natin sa isang value. So, para mamaya, ang mangyari na lang sa atin kay Fs, okay, like for example, kay Fs, magiging 5 over 3 plus, kuhanin natin yung kanyang constants or yung kanyang coefficients, we have 3 over 8 multiplied by Z minus 1 over 8, then Z, ang kanilang exponent is cube. Okay, so ito kinakabisado po ito ha. The factor of safety is equal to 5 over 3 plus 3 over 8 Z minus 1 over 8 Z cube. Okay, and then pag nakuha mo na si Fs, de-store mo ulit sa isang number, sa isang letter. Okay, and then proceed tayo ngayon dun sa formula ni Fa, wherein Fa is just equal to the quantity of 1 minus. Okay, ito naman. Palitan natin siya since ginamit na nga natin si Z. We have 1 minus 1 half Z squared. Okay? Quantity multiplied by Fy over Fs. So, mas madali na siya. So, si 1 half, kung ayaw nyong 1 half, pwede naman yan 0.5. So, depende sa inyo kung saan kayo mas madadalian. And then, after getting the value of Fa for both long or intermediate, kung saan man siya nag-fall, we can now solve for the allowable compressive strength, which is Pa is equal to Fa multiplied by the gross area. Okay, di ba ganun lang din naman ang nakukuha kasi si strength natin. Okay, so para mas maintindihan natin yung topic na ito, let us now proceed to the sample problems on the next part of the videos.